What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Taylor put a bunch of stuff in the document that I didn't read. That's on me, Taylor, because I know I have to do that every day, so I apologize. I should have. You have Saints that are busts here. We have
we don't
Saints
have time to talk about
hiring
that.
Keith Williams as a wide receiver coach.
From
relax.
Baltimore?
Who's Keith Williams? Help us out then, Jake.
Baltimore,
yes, the Baltimore
receivers coach. Was he the main or assistant receivers coach? I can't remember. But either way, I do remember seeing Zay Flowers talk about him on a podcast, almost like he was the reason why he could have so much success when he first got into the league. I'll have to check which podcast that was.
So we hired the guy who's responsible for Zay Flowers fumbling in the end zone in the playoffs. Great. Awesome, dude. Jesus, Saints suck. No, but I'm kidding. You sound like you think it's kind of maybe a good hire?
Yeah, no, I think he's a really good receivers coach.
Okay. Look, offensive staff continue
I have to go back and check
shape.
which podcast that was because I feel bad not being able to cite the source there, but he waxed poetic about him.
Offensive staff continue to take shape then under Kubiak. Again, I'm just fighting my own natural instinct to want to go ahead and crown them every single year, and I'm trying to remain realistic on this team, so I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I do like these moves. I continue to like the moves that they've been making. So here's the other article. This comes from whodatdish.com. Lee Olejnik maybe. Shout out Lee. Agree or disagree? He says 4 New Orleans Saints we can safely call busts after the 2023 season, and he starts with Trevor Penning.
God, I hate the bust word. I will say disappointing. Yes.
I still
because he wasn't like you had so many injuries, T-Bob. You had guys off the street that were playing at the tackle position, and he still couldn't find his way onto the field. And also, you had issues at guard, and you couldn't kick down a tackle to guard, which a lot of teams, almost every team has a swing tackle guard that can play all 4 positions. And then you have a swing guy that can play both guards and center, as you well know. But like the fact that he couldn't find his way on the field with this offensive line, that is troublesome. So, yeah, I'd say disappointing for sure.
And to not even be on Jumbo, I'll say, look, I feel very comfortable saying Trevor Penning bust right now. He's a bust right now. But the hope would be new coaching staff, like the reclamation project, he would be at the top of that list. Maybe they find a way. Maybe something clicks. Like, he's still going to be given opportunity. I actually don't know I don't think I agree with this one. Lou Hedley. They have Lou Hedley as one of the 4 busts. I tried making fun of Lou Hedley to the Cannon this weekend on the bachelor party, and he kind of shouted me down a bit. And I know there's some stats out there like he didn't have great average, didn't have great hang time. In fact, I think he was like last league in both. But I think the Saints are first in coverage, like the least amount of return yards. They were near the top of the league in terms of, I think, punts inside the 20. So I thought Hedley did really bad, but I think there's maybe enough of a debate to be made that I don't know that I would call him an outright bust.
They were dead last in average.
I know that.
But also they were 8th inside the 20.
And then it was either like net or average return. I think they only gave up like 1.5 yards, which I guess if you're kicking it shorter, then I'm just saying that I actually think I'm not saying it's great. I would
they were number 1 in the NFL as far as average allowed. So, 5.6 yards per return. That was best by almost a full yard.
Okay.
The Denver Broncos were 2nd.
So there's something to be said maybe there for Hedley, so you can't go outright bust. They put Landon Young in here. I just think it's impossible to look at a 6th-round offensive lineman and
say bust.
Yeah, say bust. So I'd actually disagree.
But again, he's one of the people that we're talking about got playing time over Trevor Penning.
With that one as well. But then we arrive at one that we hold these truths to be self-evident, and that is Payton Turner.
Who?
Seriously. When did Turner play last year? Didn't he have like a fumble recovery in the last game of the season or something?
So he forced the fumble and recovered it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was towards the end of the year. Outside of that, it's bad when you can, T-Bob, you're like, which play did he make? And you're like, oh, this one, because your first round pick should make so many plays you can't even count on. You can count on one hand the number of times we actually saw Payton Turner make an impact.
So I think
he played in 2 games. He played in 2 games, had 1 tackle on the year, 1 fumble recovery. Didn't even force it, so that didn't count. And he had 1 tackle on the year and played in 2 games.
Well, any TFLs or anything in there?
No, he had 1 tackle.
Okay. Well, I mean,
and
look,
it was an assisted tackle. It wasn't even solo. His partners helped him out.
You could say that he's on pace for like 8 fumble recoveries, though. It's pretty impressive, dude. No, I would say there is a key difference between Turner and Penning in that when Turner does play, he's at least like okay. He's on the field maybe, but
he's played 15 games in 3 years.
But he doesn't play. He can't get.
He's got 3 sacks in his career. The 1 fumble recovery that we're talking about is the only one that he has.
Don't forget the block kick, dog. Shout out Mario.
God, Mario would yell that right now. Probably yelling it right now.
Can't forget the block pick, dude. For life.
There's no
2
other.
2 years ago.
Chill out.
There's no other
though.
real stats that we can sit here.
So let's end this then on a high note and understand that Brian Brzez's not a bust. Brian Brzez was awesome.
He played good.
I thought he played really good for a first rounder, especially after the pain of Marcus Davenport and Payton Turner. You finally had a first round defensive lineman come out and actually have an impact pretty consistently, and he should get better and better and better. He had
4.5 sacks from the interior.
That's what I'm saying. And consistent pressures. Like Brian Brzez showed up damn near every game.
That's already more than Payton Turner has in his career.
Damn near every game you were feeling Brzez.
Well, and everybody gets mad. They're like, the Saints can't draft. You're focused so much on the first round bust. They've had a lot of success like late in the draft. Like, think about it. They got Kamara, 3rd or 4th round?
3rd.
Yeah, but this is what pisses me off. Then why not give Jeff Ireland more resources?
No, for sure.
Then why is Mickey Loomis consistently trading up and getting rid of all of these other draft picks to pick one guy?
When did they get Jordan Howden? I mean, he was
5th round.
Yeah, 5th round this year. Jordan Howden had a really solid rookie year.
And that's great. Just imagine if you could pair that with nice first round selections as well.
Well, and it goes. I go back to the Jeff Ireland quote.
Then you would be like, the 49ers or maybe another team that's consistently there in the championship.
The Ireland quote from earlier this offseason was like, well, everybody talks about the 2017 draft. He's like, I had like 4 picks in the first 3 rounds or something. Like,
you traded all your first round picks now.
Actually, speaking of the 49ers, it's actually impressive that they missed so bad on Trey Lance.
I know.
And still able to have the team that they have.
Well, because not everybody hits on Mr. Irrelevant like you did. So it's like they got bailed out there.
Yeah, but still, how do they end up with Chase Young? How do they end up with CMC?
Well, so
like the Niners roster
Chase
building
Young
is absurd.
Yeah. Well, because it's a John Lynch. Like Chase Young, he wasn't that great in Washington. I mean, they were ready to get rid of him. They got him for next to nothing. Then you fire Frank Reich. You're rebuilding there in Carolina.
But neither was Christian McCaffrey. So how are the Niners ending up with all of this not that great and then making them great again? It's annoying.
Well, I mean, McCaffrey was awesome with the Panthers, but I mean, they were in the rebuilding, so you got him for less than you probably would have gotten him for if you had a stable organization. So
people thought McCaffrey was done. A lot of people thought McCaffrey. I know you didn't, Taylor. You are CMC fanboy number 1.
Yep.
You look like a Livingston Parish version of Christian McCaffrey.
Thank you.
I know that's actually probably the nicest thing I've ever said to you. So you know what? I did kind of disagree with all those, except for maybe. Well, no. Right now we'll say Penning yes, Turner yes, but come on, Landon Young kind of caught a stray there. No need for Landon Young to be on.
Well, he's been better than your first rounder in Penning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My guy's just out here trying to fight, stay on a roster.
Yeah, he's just trying to be on a roster.
Come on now. Come on now, don't
He's
do
in
that.
like year number 3. He's almost vested. Like, just let that man live.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.